everyone, hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining me again. I'm straight into the laptop today because we're going to get quite a lot to go through. Now what I'm going to do today is I'm going to take a look at some miniatures companies, current miniatures companies doing old school style miniatures. So continuing our series of companies that weren't doing old school miniatures when old school miniatures were current miniatures, but who have deliberately chosen to put products out in that style. And today's companies that I'm looking at are companies that I haven't really delved into in great depth, in great detail. So although I'm familiar with some of them as companies, I haven't really seen extensively what they've got in their catalogues. So this will be as new to me as it is to you. And let's kick off. So we're going to start off with Satanic Panic Miniatures. Now I am aware of these guys, and I'm aware that they have been doing some sort of homage figures recently to old school figures, and that's very cool from what I've seen. So let's see what's actually on their website. So we've just gone into store, and there's no breakdown. So it's just store. Is it lesser goblins and hobgoblins? That's cool. Lots of pages here, guys. If you've got loads of pages, if you've got loads of different products, we need categories, because I bet these aren't all goblins and hobgoblins. Although let's have a look at some goblins and hobgoblins while we're here, because these are cool. Look, separate heads as well. I don't mind separate heads too much. It lets you customize models. Separate hands at this scale, I'm not playing with that, but separate heads, that's fine. And especially when you've got large ranks of models and you want to add some difference to them. Lovely. The Great Gnolls. So Great Gnolls of Normandy, I think, were one of their Kickstarters. So we've had goblins, hobgoblins, gnolls, some equipment bits here as well. These might be useful, especially pick up some crossbows. Crossbows seem to be fairly hard to come by. And this is lovely. Look at this. What is this? This must be some kind of hobgoblin banner pole. Don't know. But guys, really, we need some categories. We need to be able to go and find the gnolls and find the goblins and find the spears and the weapons accessories separately. Charging boars. Those boars look cool. I was never that much of a fan of the very static Citadel boars, particularly the kind of plastic ones that they did in 4th edition. These ones look like they've got a bit more charge to them. That's cool. More gnolls. Maybe this is all going to be goblins and gnolls. In which case, fair play. They're pretty similar. But when you get your other sculpts on here, guys, put some categories in. Yeah, so mostly gnolls. Oh, and this guy. This is the guy. Actually, I've got this guy. I was sent him, and he is a tribute to a fantasy classic. There you go. And this is lovely. I hope they're doing some more. In fact, I know they're doing some more of these. I've seen the work in progress photos. Very cool. Like it a lot. Very cool. Right, Star Hat Miniatures. This is our next intrepid enterprise. This is Darcy Perry's work, and it is gorgeous, both in the putty and painted up in the flesh. Look at these ducks. They did a Hero Quest duck set, didn't they? It's not up here. Must be here somewhere on the website, but cool. Like ducks. RuneQuest ducks. I don't play RuneQuest, but if I did, I'd be buying these ducks for sure. But yeah, Darcy is an excellent sculptor. Look at the amount of character that goes into these. And probably one of the very few companies that are based on the opposite side of the world. These are a New Zealand company. So if you're in New Zealand and you're short of getting hold of stuff, because I understand that it's expensive and sometimes hard to get stuff from the rest of the world where you are, check out Star Hat Miniatures. This stuff is cool. Doesn't take itself too seriously, which is always a good sign. And lots of ducks. If you're into ducks, this is the place to be. Lovely, excellent stuff. Star Hat Miniatures, check them out. Right, let's move on. Mom Miniatures now. This obviously looks like they're in Spain. I don't really know anything about this. This was a recommendation. I've not really come across them before. Let's check out these berserkers. See these? They have a bit of they're certainly not modern Games Workshop looking. They have a bit more of a kind of plastic edge look to them. They look a bit more sort of 5th, 6th upwards edition, but they're not Age of Sigmar, so that's good. Okay, let's see what else we've got here. Sons of the Griffin. Oh yeah, these are cool. So these would work pretty nicely, I reckon, in Wartime particularly. Looks like they're in resin, so if you do resin, that's cool. Yeah, they've definitely got a nice sort of bit of a John Blanche inspiration there, I reckon. Certainly got the right sort of slit trousers and feathered hats. Yeah, cool. What else have we got? Some barbarians. Let's check out the barbarians. There's lots of new pages here. I wonder if there are actually anything in those pages. See, some of them are a bit overburdened, which is not really what I look for in an old school miniature. Actually, they're not. No, look up close. It's not too much in there. No, not too much in there. It reminds me a little bit of the kind of ski ball style of things. Let's check out a new page and see what's on it. Oh, look, and some scenery. Some nice doors. They're nice. So I think these would make quite decent proxies for 4th, 5th edition Old Hammer armies. They're possibly a bit big for what I would describe as true Old Hammer armies, but they've definitely got a bit of a retro styling to them. I can see them fitting in quite nicely with my kind of town settings. So yeah, I'll dig back into those, check those guys out. Nice. Red Bard Games. Again, I've seen their stuff on Instagram. I keep seeing things and going, oh yeah, like that, but not really having a look and checking them out. So let's have a look in their shop and see what they've got. This lot actually looks like it would fit quite neatly in with the Northumbrian Tin Soldier stuff we looked at in the last video. It's got that kind of they've got an ass cannon. Nice. So I've old school miniatures, but it's nice to see different takes on these. They've got that kind of cartoony, slightly comic style to the goblins there. I can see these working quite nicely alongside Martin Buck's figures. Lots of beholders and other D&D type monsters. Yeah, nice. Like it. Like it a lot. There's some fun little details here. And I don't think those would be out of place in an old school orc army. Possibly these two on the right slightly less so. They don't quite have that massive overbite with tusks, but those on the left, you could fit those in with a 4th edition Kev Adams orc army for sure. Nice, like it. 3D printed resin under demand. Oh, there you go. So, old school in look, not so old school in production, possibly. That's interesting because I swear that I've seen hand sculpted greens. I mean, the chainmail here does look very digitally sculpted, but I'm sure I've seen hand sculpted greens from these guys. Well, there we go. Just goes to show that producing stuff digitally does not by default mean that it doesn't fit in with an old school aesthetic. Cool, right, let's move on to CP models. Again, I've seen some stuff on Instagram, I've seen them flagged on Facebook. I've not really seen what they do. So let's see, do they have some fantasy stuff in here somewhere? I'm seeing a lot of modern and sci-fi. Ooh, what's this in here? Oh, bugberry type things. And some dwarfy things. Yeah. Okay. And they do have a shop, yes. So what have we got here? Lots of things. 28mm, I guess, is what I'm mostly interested in. .28mm fantasy. Bat ball, like it. They're obviously quite into dwarves. Grey dwarves, Norse dwarves, Celtic dwarves, Chaos dwarves, dwarf adventurers, dwarven empire. But I guess so many different companies have done dwarves at so many different times with, you know, big-headed dwarves and short, fat dwarves and dwarves with no legs to speak of. They've all sort of come at the problem of producing shortened humans in a small scale slightly differently. So it makes sense to try and fit in with a few different styles of sculpting them. Neat. Very neat. And not expensive. £2 a miniature. That's lovely. White metal. Lovely. Sculpted by Sandra Garrity. Lovely stuff. Like it. Like it a lot. I'm going to have to get some of these guys for my town. Haha, look at this dude. Oh, that's a George Fairlamb sculpt. Nice. Oh, so maybe this is quite a varied catalogue. That might explain the differences between the dwarves if they're all each type of dwarf has a different sculptor. Oh, it's Alessio. They've got some cool people doing sculpting for them. Definitely happy to fit these in the old school bracket. Lovely characters, some of these. Oh, I like him. I have no idea who Whiff Waff is. I have to look up Whiff Waff. Oh, and Mark Sims, who did the Orc Pirates that I've got on my shelf. Yeah. So I don't know if they've collected sculpts from various places when they've been available. Some sculptors put up stuff for sale that they've just done for themselves, and some companies buy them to add them in. I've done that myself on occasion, both as a sculptor and as a company. So that's a nice way to populate a shop with eclectic ranges. Or whether they commissioned these people to do them specifically, I don't know. Ah, David Powell. David did the big sort of Mordor-looking troll that we have in Oakbound. So yeah, they've got quite a range of sculptors working for them. Nice, like that. Bookmark that for future reference. So we're going to go to Dragonbait Miniatures. It's also oh, the poor kid didn't get any slaughter bases for his Christmas present. Again, this is entirely new to me, but these look cool. I mean, yeah, that doesn't get. I think we're going to ignore the booty bait bit there. Let's not go there. But look at these. Doesn't say much more old school, does it? This is so cool. Let's go to, what do we like? Oh, do they have dragons? Ah, this is where the adventurers are. Nice. Let's take a closer look at some adventurers. These guys look fun. That's sculpted by Kev Adams. Yeah, some definite characters there. Like the monk with his defending his beer barrel. Human cleric, a gnome alchemist, and a human wizard. I thought she was just a very, very young alchemist. Lovely. So this looks like there's some fun adventures to be had here. Each of these little packs sort of gives you a scenario in and of itself. You could theme an evening's gaming around an adventure with one of those adventure packs. Halfling witch flying with pig. I think I saw that on the homepage. That's fun. Flying in a cauldron. Yeah, very cool. I can definitely see getting some sort of specific adventure inspiration from these models. Very cool. Like it a lot. What's in the Dark Fables? Let's have a look. Cool. These are pretty unique looking savage orcs. They're almost sort of half orcish, aren't they? Not quite so prominent on the tusks as some of Kev's. A bit more subtle. Some evil cultists. These would work well in Mordheim, wouldn't they? They're not too decorated. A lot of these cultists, you find they've got candles stuck everywhere and really sort of impractical harnesses which look cool, but I quite like the simplicity of just robes and daggers. You can get too ornate as a cultist. Cultists should be a bit more rough and ready. Or I should have gone in the Hill Giant. Or we'll have a look at him in a minute. Yeah, we'll have a look at the Hill Giant. Always on these websites a sucker for the big monsters. Oh, he's quite fun. Proper old man giant. Yeah, nice. Nice CP models. And the last company that we're going to look at today is Spellcrow, which has got a very, what should we say, 4th edition, 5th edition Warhammer Fantasy look to it. Maybe very suitable for 9th age. But these are fun, aren't they? I mean, these are more modern styly orcs. Or orcs. But they're very fun models. So let's have a bit of a dive. Let's see what we're looking at. So I guess maybe let's start in Umbra Terrace Heroic Skirmish. I've not come across this game. It says 2011. Maybe it's been going quite a while and I've not come across it. If you've come across it, how does this play? Is it worth looking into? A Diniac with a crossbow? What's a Diniac? Oh, cool, a pumpkin-headed dude. See, I was thinking, when I saw those first painted miniatures on the homepage, I was thinking this has a bit of a Rackham confrontation look to it, and this just brings that home. That looks Pixie Trickster to me, except a bit larger, but it's a very similar sort of style to the miniatures as well as and colour look. You know, there's very bold colour choices, very intricate painting, but lots of textures and lots of details on the figures. I like this a lot. Very cool. It's nice to see the unpainted ones as well as the painted ones, to be able to sort of judge how much of the niceness of these models is in the paintwork and how much is in the sculpting, and there is a decent amount in both. But there's a lot of texture there in the model. I like it. I might have to get one of their owls. I need an owl for my leprechauns. Cool. Oh, there's a painted one. Look. A painted Diniac. Yeah, doesn't that look Rackham to you? That looks Rackham confrontation to me. But of course, in production, so you don't have to go to the weird illegal recasting site or pay a fortune on eBay for it. That's very cool. I like that a lot. I'm trying to work out resin models. Here we are. So they are resin. I don't know, maybe they don't do any metal models, which would make sense for the style of it. I always like to see stuff in metal, but I guess it makes sense. That's quite a big chunk of resin. Would be quite heavy in metal. It's nice though, I like it. And again, these guys, follow them on Instagram if you are doing Instagram, because they put up a lot of pictures of their original sculpts, and they're very pretty, very intricate pieces, and a lot of fun. It's obviously people having a lot of fun playing with toys, which is what toys are for. So that's cool. That's today's new school producers of old school miniatures. So again, I hope that's helpful for you. I hope that fills some holes in your armies, in your war bands, gives you some more things to put on the shopping list. Not that our shopping lists are ever obviously empty. We're more likely to need additional lists, I think. But yeah, hopefully that inspires you for a future project. Join me again next week.